So I messed up. I messed up. Hello, my most beautiful besties in the entire world. For today's video, if you guys cannot tell by the title and thumbnail, I am going to be doing the best of the best versus the worst of the worst makeup that I've tried this year. I did this video back in the summer where I did the best and worst of the makeup so far, and now we're officially here at the end of the year to do the best of the best versus the worst of the worst. However, besties, we have a problem. But before we get into that, if you guys want to see what the best and the worst is, well, then make sure you guys grab a snack and grab a drink, besties, because, well, I want you to be hydrated and fed here. Okay, so I did this video back in the summer where I wanted to do something a little different. I wanted to do the best and worst of beauty so far, and I thought it went great. I really loved doing it. It helped to kind of utilize my time better, and I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna do it again at the end of the year. I'm gonna do, you know, a full face of the best products versus a full face of the worst products. I thought everything was all good and dandy, and then I realized something. I did a massive declutter. Yeah. I did a massive declutter. And normally, whenever I do my declutter, I keep a big old box right next to me. I put all the declutter items in there so that I can go through it after my entire declutter series is over to throw away the products that need to be thrown away, donate what I can, and give away what I can. And well, this time I was like, I'm gonna be cheeky and I'm gonna do my declutter, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and do all the stuff. So I got rid of a lot of things. I still have my eyeshadow palettes I need to sort, but the blushes, bronzers, concealers, foundations, setting powders, primers, yeah, your girl already separated those, and I got rid of what needed to be getting rid of. I gave away what I could, and I also donated what I could. And I don't have them here. So my plan to do a full face of worst versus best, well, we're going to do the best that we can, because I do have some products that I did pull aside months ago because I was like, you know what I mean? So I have some things. I do not have all the things, but we're going to work with what we got. So right now, I'm currently in the middle of doing a Singe Beauty Galactivisor eyeshadow palette review. So that's what my eyes already done. Besides, I didn't want to do eyeshadow in today's video because if you guys did not see, I just posted ranking all the palettes I tried this year. I tried over 108 palettes. Good God. That's freaking a lot of palettes. Like, that's a lot. That's a lot. It took me a long time to edit, by the way. And in that video, I tell you guys what the worst palettes of the year were versus the best palettes. So I didn't want to reiterate myself in today's video. So if you guys want to see what the best palettes that I tried and the worst palettes that I tried, please go watch that video. Please. It took me a long time to film and edit, and it would just mean the world. Okay, so we're going to start off with primers. So for the best primer, we have a few sitting in front of me. Now, I'm going to go ahead and preface this by saying that I have very, very, very oily skin. So some of the products that I may recommend are mostly going to be geared for those who have very oily skin and have large pores, because that's what I suffer from. I get asked a lot of questions about recommendations for products with dry skin. Guys, I don't have dry skin, and I feel so bad because I don't really know what to recommend you because I don't suffer from dry skin. But there are some amazing channels out there that do have dry skin that would recommend great products for you. Like I know Betty Jean has dry skin. I think Linda from Glitter Follow has dry skin. I know Teresa's Dead has dry skin. Quite a few other people out there do have dry skin, and they can make some amazing recommendations for products to try. I unfortunately have very oily skin, so I can only tell you what works best for me. So I'm gonna start off with two products that I'm not gonna wear today because I'm not gonna wear today, but I want to talk to you guys about. Also, by the way, I'm gonna kind of repeat myself a lot because if you guys did not see a couple weeks ago, I also posted a video, my top 3 in every single category. So you're going to see a repeat of a lot of these items, but that just shows I really do love them. So starting off, we do have the Milk Makeup. This is going to be the Pore Mattifying Eclipse Stick right here. This literally just goes on to your T-zone or the areas that you suffer the most with like large pores and a lot of oily skin. And so for me, my whole face. But in reality, I would just go over my T-zone right here to really kind of, you know, absorb the excessive oil that I may still have sitting on my skin after my skincare routine. And I feel like it just does a really great job of helping to lock in that skincare and really help to mattify the face. And it does kind of blur the pores a little bit, but this has been a holy grail to contain the oil. Same thing with the Danessa Myricks. This is the Yummy Skin Water Powder Serum. I am in love with this. This is absolutely phenomenal. This does such a fan-freaking-tastic job at really containing the oil and helping to make my makeup last all day. A little goes a long way. You only need 2 or 3 drops of this. Mixing these two together has been such a godsend for me, especially during the summer. But these are absolutely fantastic. I highly recommend them. But for today, I do have 2 primers. It should be as of no shock to anybody that I would recommend the One Size Oil Sucking Extreme Mattifying Primer. This is my second one. I threw in my first one because I completely emptied that out. If you guys saw my primer declutter, I did show it in there. I absolutely love this. I love this. This is absolutely fantastic. It does the best job at really helping to contain the oil and really matting down the face. It does give my pores a little bit of a blurred effect, but when you put it on, you can feel a tightening sensation. It is really unique how that happens. So I'm going to put this on the half of my face. This is my go-to primer, by the way. I literally wear this every single day at this point. I don't know what I would do without it. She's a godsend. She's a godsend. So we're just going to put this on half my face. And then the part to make this, and the tricky part about making this work is that you really need to make your face as stoic as possible. So now we're going to let that sit for 3 minutes. But while I do, I mean, my face is not going to be stoic because I'm going to talk because I like to talk apparently. I'm going to talk about the next primer that I really do love. And surprisingly enough, it's the damn Huda Beauty Easy Blur Primer. This thing, man, I freaking love it. I didn't want to love it because it's expensive and she's almost empty. So I'm just like, I gotta go buy another one. I gotta go buy a damn other one. But you know what? She does a really good job of helping to blur my large pores. So as you guys can see, I'm a little shiny right here, but the oil control is already making it nice and mattified. But you guys can see my pores are still super visible. It is what it is. I have pores. I'm human. You know what I mean? Or am I? Okay, anyway. So I'm just because I'm thinking of aliens because of this damn palette right here. Okay, so anyway, this really just helps to blur the appearance of my pores, which I really, really, really do appreciate. So I'm gonna take a little bit of this and we're gonna put this right here over my pore area. This really just helps to smooth it out and it works really nicely with the One Size product. Surprisingly enough, I don't have any issues with it, but she's really, really great to help to just really smooth that makeup and make your makeup look nice and flawless. I really do love that. Now for the worst side, I don't have the one primer that I really wanted to show you guys, and that was the Essence Poreless Primer. That thing was shitty. I did not like it. It didn't do anything for the pores. It didn't do anything for the makeup. It didn't do anything for the oil. It just was a primer that I put on just to put on. It did nothing else. So I did declutter it. But I did keep, luckily for me, the LA Girl Blurring Putty Primer. I tried this several times. It goes on like freaking peanut butter. She's starting to crack. I don't know why, but she's starting to crack. It doesn't feel good. Like, it really just doesn't feel good on the skin. It just kind of like goes on and it just kind of like sits there and it feels really greasy. So for someone who's really oily like me, the last thing I want to do is add grease to my face, and that's kind of like what this does. It doesn't give it a smooth appearance, doesn't do anything except feel greasy, and apparently it cracks over time. So there is that. So we're just going to go ahead and apply this right here. Okay, so for foundations, I have 4 foundations sitting in front of me. The Holy Grail foundation that I will always recommend, but I'm going to do an honorable mention today because I didn't try it this year. It's the Revlon Color Stay Longwear foundation. This is my go-to foundation. I'm so in love with this. I will always have a backup of this. This is my foundation that I wear every single day to work. This is just what gets me by during summer. This is the best foundation if you have really oily skin. I'm telling you, it does not separate, does not transfer. It has a great longevity to it. And the best part is if you are really dry or if you have dry skin, they have a normal to dry skin version of this. But if you are oily like myself, they have a combination to oily. The most underrated foundation out there, and I will always rave about this. But for today, we have 3 foundations sitting in front of me. First off, we do have the Urban Decay. This is going to be the light neutral. This is going to be the Urban Decay Face Bond foundation. This is going to be a self-setting foundation where you don't need to apply any sort of setting powder if you wish not to. This is supposed to set itself. However, I still recommend setting down your face with setting powder because I have really oily skin. I still need to have it locked in and really like locked in. So it's a beautiful foundation. It goes on very nicely. It blends very seamlessly, just kind of melts into the skin. It has a nice longevity to it. It helps make your makeup last all day and helps to control the oil. I think it's absolutely fantastic. Same thing with the one size. This is the Turn Up the Base Full Beat Liquid Foundation. This is a beautiful, beautiful foundation. This literally just helps to lock in your makeup and make it last all day. This really helps to control the oil and shine throughout the entire day. And if you do get a little shiny, if you do get a little oily, the best part, it doesn't break up the foundation. It's really easy to save, and I really do appreciate that. This became one of my favorites this past year. Really do love it. And then the last foundation that I absolutely fell in love with is the Huda Beauty Easy Blur. This is a natural airbrush foundation. This doesn't do anything to really control the oil, but what it does do is it really helps to give your face a very soft, blurred-like effect. It looks like you put on like a spray paint foundation. It's very beautiful. It mixes well with so many other products out there. I really fell in love with this particular foundation. Surprisingly enough, even though I get really oily, this is one of those foundations that I wear on the days that I'm just filming. I'm not really intending to go out, but if I do go out, I know that my makeup is going to look really nice and smooth, but I know that I'm only going to have it for a certain period of time before I start getting really oily. But this is definitely a must. So I think for today, we're going to go in with the Huda Beauty Easy Blur. And what I really love about this is you can just take this and you could just do little zigzags down the face. It's so fun to do. I really love doing that, surprisingly enough. And then we're going to take this and we're just going to softly just blend this out. I do have this shade, because I always get asked shade numbers, 220N Custard. Whenever I do foundation reviews or anything where I'm trying out new makeup, I always try to link the exact shade that I'm wearing down below, just in case. So we're just going to lay this right here. So for the worst foundation, we do have a few sitting in front of me. The first one being the Physician Formula. This is going to be the Diamond Perfector. This is a mineral wear BB cream. This is just not it. Like, it's a cool concept, but the way that this just goes on the skin, I am not a fan. I know that it's supposed to be like a BB cream, so it's not supposed to be as intense as like an actual foundation, but I find that it just left this really weird sheen on my skin. It wasn't the easiest to work with. My makeup products went right through it. I was like, what is this? I just was not a fan. It's really sad because I really do like Physician Formula. They make some great bronzers, but when it comes to like their foundations and concealers, I feel like they can definitely use room to improve on. So this was a no for me. The other one that I did not like was the Win Skin Tint. This was Serena Williams skincare or foundation, like makeup line. I tried it during the summer. I hated it. I hated the foundation. I thought it was horrible. It's supposed to be skin tint, but it was just really white on me. I tried to match my actual like shade range. I thought the shade range was fantastic for the brand, but I tried to like match it to me, and it was just so horrible color. It just sheared itself out. It did not have longevity to it. I tried it multiple times. I ended up not liking it, and I actually returned it. The next one being the Essence. This is the Keep Me Covered Long Lasting Foundation. I bought this because everybody last year did a full face of Essence over on TikTok, and I can tell that they were all a sponsored ad, but none of them disclosed it, by the way. So I wanted to try it, and I felt like this was a $4 foundation, and there's a reason for it. First off, it turned me orange. Okay, I turned orange. I look like a little Oompa Loompa. But secondly, it just was a horrible coverage foundation. I got super oily. It didn't really mix well with my other products, and I just felt like this was not it. Next, we did have the CoverGirl. This is the Simply Ages Skin Perfector Essence. Everybody loved this. Everybody loved this, and I wanted to love it too. First off, it's $20, okay? So I had to buy two of them to get my exact match, and I just felt like the concept was really unique because it's like this really weird, like clear foundation that you take and you have to blend in with your hands. But I sat here and I blended for so long to get some sort of coverage, but I just found it to be very patchy. Now, I get this is supposed to be like a skin tint, so it's not supposed to be full coverage. I totally understand that, but I had to sit here and really kind of work it in, and then it just kind of looked like that. It didn't want to dry down. It became very patchy, and it just felt like it clung to certain products on my face, especially my primers, and I was like, oh, this is not going to work. Like, this is not going to work. And then when I put like a setting powder on top of it, it just lifted up in certain areas. I did not like this. At first, I had like a love-hate relationship. I hated it the whole time I was wearing it, but then once the full make was complete, I was like, oh, okay, now it's pretty, right? It's pretty. But then as the day went on, I was like, now my makeup's looking like shit. I ended up not liking it overall. I ended up decluttering both of them, and for good reason, just because I just felt like these just didn't do what I wanted them to for a skin tint. So they're on the worst. And then the last foundation that I'm going to wear today is actually the Patrick Ta. This is the Major Skin Hydra Luxe Luminous Foundation. Now, Granted, I bought this knowing that this was not for oily skin. This is a very, very, very hydrating foundation. However, I do have hydrating foundations in my collection. Like there's a Makeup Forever hydrating foundation. I love that. I thought it was absolutely fantastic. I have the e.l.f. Satin Glow foundation. That's a hydrating foundation. Again, fantastic. I can make hydrating foundations work for me, but there's something about this that I just cannot get to work. And not only is it super expensive for what it is, like it's super runny too. It's very runny. But I just feel like this particular foundation really itches my skin. There's something about this foundation that itches. I don't know what it is. I notice that whenever I wear this foundation, I find myself kind of like scratching my face throughout the day. And I don't know if there's an ingredient in here that is just irritating the crap out of my face. I don't know. But the only reason why I didn't declutter it is because it's such a freaking expensive foundation and I really wanted to get a use out of it. So I will wear this foundation during like new makeup release or something like that when I'm not trying anything new, so I can get a use out of this because I forgot to return it. I dropped the ball and forgot to return this foundation. So now I'm stuck with it and I'm going to make sure I get a use out of this like $65 foundation because she is expensive. And I just really noticed that Patrick Ta is not having a good year. Where this has dried down to be nice and matte, this is super greasy, super oily, and this is how it's going to sit until I do something with it. And I am itching it, and I'm wanting to itch it already. There's something about the ingredients in here that just doesn't sit well with my skin, but it is what it is. So moving on to liquid bronzers. I only have 2 liquid bronzers that I really, really, really fell in love with this year. The first one being the Morphe. This is the Hot Shop Sun Drop. I really love this. I really, really fell in love with this. Surprisingly, there's not a lot of products from Morphe that I generally really like. I tend to think Morphe is just one of those overrated brands at this point. I feel like they can definitely use room for improvement. But when they launched this, I really fell in love with it. It just blends so seamlessly into the skin. It just melts into it and gives you a soft bronze look. It's really, really beautiful. I also did like the Say Beauty bronze drops. I thought these were really gorgeous. I know a lot of people there either loved or hated this. I really liked it. I thought it blended really nicely into the skin. It just melted, gave me soft sun-kissed glow without being too overpowering, and worked really nicely with no matter what product I used it with. So I really fell in love with those 2 bronzers. But the one that really just took me by surprise, that should be no shock, is the Too Faced. This is going to be the bronzer and contour stick. There is something about this that I just absolutely love. 1, it smells like Tootsie Rolls, right? I don't like Tootsie Rolls. But 2, the way that this literally just melts into the skin. It doesn't matter what foundation it's sitting on, what primer it's sitting on. It just melts so seamlessly. It works so beautifully, and it just lasts me all day. I know I can rely on this any single time that I need this to work. It's just beautiful. And I'm not really one to like a lot of Too Faced products, but there's something about this contour stick that just really helps to warm up the face. Give me a soft little bronzy moment without being too overpowering. And I can just leave it like this if I want to, or I can go over it with powder, which I absolutely will. But for me, it is just so beautiful. One of my absolute favorites, and I definitely will be repurchasing this because I really, 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 really fell in love with this bronzer. And I didn't think I was going to, but I can't stop using it. It's been my #1 go-to bronzer since I got it, and this is definitely going to be a repurchase for me. When it comes to the bronzers that I did not like, honestly, I didn't really try too much bronzers that I didn't like, but there are 2 that kind of do stand out, surprisingly. And the first one being Physician Formula Contour Wand. I really wanted to like that. They sent it to me several times, and I've tried it multiple times. I just can't get into it. It just doesn't blend the way that I wanted to. It doesn't give me the soft, bronzy glow. It just kind of sits on the face. I didn't really care for that at all. And the next one was the Physician Formula Diamond Wear Bronzer. This is supposed to be like a cream style bronzer, but I just felt like this bronzer was just not the easiest to work with. I'm going to take this right here. First off, the color is just a little yellowish, right? Which isn't too bad, and it does melt into the skin, but it gets very wet-like. I don't know if you guys can tell. It gets very wet-like and almost like it's sweating. I don't know how to describe it other than it's kind of weird. It's kind of a weird bronzer. I didn't really find myself liking this at all. I used it, but I just feel like it just kind of sits on top of skin and doesn't exactly melt. Like this one like melts into the skin. This just kind of sits on top of the skin. And I just don't really like how it has a yellow undertone to it at all. For blushes, I had 4 different blushes this year, like cream blushes that I absolutely fell in love with. Like truly fell in love with. The first one being the Milk Makeup. These are the cooling jelly tints. I absolutely love these. I loved all of them. You literally take this on a brush, you softly apply it to the skin. Now this does leave a little bit of a stain, so you want to be careful with it because you can use it on your lips as well as your cheeks. I find that a little bit does go a long way, and you just got to work kind of quickly to get these to work for you. I really thoroughly enjoyed them. Just like I really absolutely loved my Morphe Hot Shot Blush Drop. This is so pretty. Like this is such a pretty blush. It just literally just sits here and melts into the skin. The same way that the bronzer does. The blush just melts straight onto the skin. It gives you a really soft baby pink glow, and it's just not too overpowering, and it's very easy to work with. It doesn't lift any product underneath it, and it works very well with setting powder and working with concealer. It's a very beautiful formula. Next, we do have the Glow with Confidence Sun Blush from IT Cosmetics. I have 2 different shades. I will say both are absolutely beautiful. You just dip your brush into this, and you have to tap it into the skin, and it just gives you a really soft sun-kissed blush look where it just blends very effortlessly. A little does go a long way. You can put setting powder on top of it, and you really don't need to use blush on top of that if you don't want to. I just find it has a beautiful melting formula. It just melts straight into the skin, blends with any sort of product you put on top of it. Very gorgeous formula. I did rank this pretty high in my top 3 of all the products I've tried. Very pretty. But the one that I just keep going back to time and time again is the Haus Labs. Now these are going to be like the Glassy Hibiscus. It's going to be a blush stick. You literally just take it like this and you put it on. It's going to be a serum base, right? Now you can apply this with a brush if you want to. I just apply it directly on the skin, and then it just like literally melts. And normally I don't like putting like a stick blush on top of the skin because I usually find that sticks tend to literally lift up the product underneath. This does not do that. This just melts. It does not lift it. It just melts, and you can build it up if you wish to. You can keep it simple if you wish to. And I just find the formula on this is just beautiful. It just literally melts straight into the skin. Straight into the skin. I absolutely love this. There was no cream blush that I tried that I did not like, so I'm just gonna go in with the Glassy Hibiscus on this side too. Just so you guys can see what I'm talking about. You see how like greasy and slimy this side is? Watch how this blush, doesn't matter, is going to still work with it very seamlessly. Like it doesn't lift it. It still just melts into the skin. It just gives me a really beautiful, soft, blushy glow without being too intense. And it still works. So that's why I love it, because it works with no matter what base you're using underneath it. It works very seamlessly, and I just really fell in love with this. For concealer, I tried a few concealers this year, but there's only one that really stands out to me that I really ended up falling in love with, and I'm kind of like late to the game on this one, but it's the ABH. This is going to be the like Magic Touch Concealer. I fell in love with this. I tried it during the Sephora sale. I said I was going to get it because I've seen everybody talk about this. I was like, well, I got to try it. I got it, and now it's like the only concealer that I use. It is a full coverage concealer. A little bit does go a long way, and let me tell you, it's absolutely beautiful. It does not lift the skin. Does not lift the products underneath. It does not crease under the eyes. It just blends so seamlessly, and it's so beautiful, and it gives you just a very soft, light, brightening effect underneath as well. I really love this, and plus it like really helps to blend out any sort of like mess up you may have in your blush, just to give a really soft blurred effect. It's a really beautiful formula, and I know I'm late to trying it, but let me tell you, it is amazing, and I can see why so many people out there love it. And now it's like the only concealer that I use because it just gives me really soft, very soft concealer look. Oh, I love it. Now, the concealers that I hated, there's 2 concealers I tried this year that I hated, and that's going to be the Essence Keep Me Covered concealer. This is dog shit. It's horrible. It's just like the foundation. It's super white on me, and it just does not blend. It settles into the fine line. It creases throughout the day. It doesn't have longevity to it. Did not like this. Same thing with the Huda Beauty. Same thing with Fenty Beauty. This is a hydrating one. Can we take a look at this for a minute? Do you guys see how it's separated? I wanted to love this. This was a hydrating concealer, and I just found this to not do anything. It just kind of sits on the skin. It settles into the fine lines, and which is really weird because I love Fenty's other concealer, but for some reason this one just did not do it for me at all. It's too watery. I found that it was just too watery and just does not last on the skin, and it shears itself out over time. So for me, this gotta go. Okay, so for setting powder, there really wasn't any new setting powder that I tried this year that I thought was revolutionary, that I thought, oh my God, this was amazing. There's some that I tried that I do like, but the ones I've been using a lot, honestly, it's just going to be the One Size. This is the translucent setting powder. I still am obsessed with my Nakia Joy Cosmetics and my Kimchi Chic Puff Puff Pass setting powder. Those are still my go-to setting powders. But in terms of what I tried this year, I really tried this a lot this year, and I just found that it works really, really nicely. So I'm just going to take this, and we're going to apply this directly on the face, waterline, the under eye. Now, this does a really good job at helping to control the oil. It's not my most holy grail setting powder because I still do get a little oily when wearing this, but it does help to blur any fine lines and imperfections I may have on the face. And it also helps to just control the oil as best as possible. But if I really want longevity, I'll still go into my Kimchi Chic and my Nakia Joy Cosmetics combo. That really helps to control the oil amazingly well. But this does a really good job. If I want something to wear just for, for like 6 or 7 hours, I will go into this setting powder and know that it's going to do the job that it says it's going to do. Okay, so in terms of bad setting powder, the first one I have is the Sigma. This is a Beaming Glow Illuminating Powder. I first tried this. I thought this was a setting powder. Come to find out, it's not. It's just a loose illuminating powder, and I used this the wrong way, so that's why I really ended up hating it. And I used this in my last best versus worst. So we're not going to do that today, but I do have 2 more. The first one being this Air Spun loose face powder. If you guys did not see, I know this is not new, but I tried it for the first time this year because I did a throwback to the 2004. I did like, if YouTube existed in 2004, what would the makeup routine look like? And I did that video. I had a lot of fun in it, by the way, and this was horrible. This, I can't even open it. It makes me want to gag opening it because it has this really nasty like baby powder smell. Oh my God, it's horrible. I can't get into it. This is horrible. I know this is a staple. Some people out there love it. Also, look. Do you see that? You see what I'm talking about? The Fenty is already creasing into the lid and the eye. But anyway, this just, I can't. But for my next setting powder that I did not like, it's the Pixi. This is a H2O Skin Veil Powder in the shade Translucent. First off, can you guys see that it looks super white? It looks super white. Talk about Flashback Mary. When you wear this, it's going to be Flashback Mary Central. I do like how micro fine the powder is, but let me tell you, she really does help to brighten the under eye, but this did nothing in terms of setting my face with like longevity. I got super oily when wearing this. My pores became super visible. I just found that this just did not really work well. My foundation started to break up underneath it. I feel like it kind of pulled the products, and it just did not care for this whatsoever. So that is why we're using her today, because I do think she's one of the worst, sadly, which is weird because I really do like some of Pixi Beauty's products, but this just was not it. The good thing is that it looks like it's not bad right now, but let me tell you, I've had a flashback moment with this, and I was like, oh my gosh, what do I do? What do I do? All right, so for powdered bronzer, there was only one powder bronzer that I fell in love with this year, and I bought another one of it because I think it's just so damn good. And you guys would not be surprised to hear it, but it is the Sephora bronzer right here. I haven't really tried too much from Sephora. Like, I forget that Sephora makes makeup, and I forget they do that. And I tried this bronzer during spring, and I fell so hard in love with it. I hit pan on this that I decided to buy another one during this holiday saving event. And this has just been my go-to ever since. This really helps to just, go on the face very seamlessly. It looks airbrush, has a very pleasant scent to it. The scent reminds me so much of the Marc Jacobs Omega Bronzer. Honestly, I feel like that's what this is. I feel like this is the Marc Jacobs Omega Bronzer, but like in a smaller version of it. Since Marc Jacobs did discontinue their makeup line, or they're slowly bringing it back, I feel like this is the vibe that this is giving me, which is a replacement of that. Really, 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 really fell in love with this. So beautiful. This is the best bronzer I have tried this year. I'm so in love with it. Now, for the worst bronzer, honestly, I didn't try a worst powder bronzer. I really didn't. So because I didn't try a worst powder bronzer, I'm just going to go in with this one as well. Because I just didn't try a bad bronzer like powder bronzer. I didn't try too much powder bronzers this year. I tried more cream bronzers than I did powder bronzer, and there just wasn't one that I found that I absolutely hated. So we're just going to go ahead and use that on this side. Moving on to powdered blushes. There's 3 different type of powdered blushes this year that I really fell in love with. The first one being Kaleidos. I recently got this in PR, and I don't know what this shade is called that I'm using because it doesn't have a name on it, but this is so beautiful. This is so beautiful. It blends very seamlessly. It has a really nice little peachy look to it. Oh my God, it's fantastic. I love how effortless this is to work with. You can blend it up. You can have it very light and flush on the face if you want to. It just really kind of depends on your taste. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful blush. Another formula that I really found myself liking is actually from Singe Beauty. I really enjoy the Singe Beauty blushes. Even though they have a little bit of a glowingness to them, you guys know I'm not a really big glowy blush, it works. It somehow works, or it just gives you such a subtle shift, such a subtle glow, but it blends very effortlessly. You can put it on very lightly, but a little bit does go a long way, and it pairs very beautifully with the other Singe Beauty blushes that are in the line. I freaking love these. These are absolutely beautiful. But the one I'm going to use today is probably my #1 favorite blush of the entire year, and that's the Kosas Blush is Life. I have the shade called Bliss. This is my absolute favorite. This is my absolute favorite. This just goes on so effortlessly, and it really kind of reminds me of the Patrick Ta She's Passionate blush. I do have their blush duos, but I just found myself gravitated more towards this than I do their blush duo. So we're going to go ahead and take this, and we're going to lightly just tap this onto the face. You can build it up very lightly. You can have just a very soft flush, or you can really intensify it if you wish to. It's so beautiful. I really do find myself liking this baked formula. Such a beautiful, beautiful blush, and it stays on all day. It stays on all day. Now, there isn't a powder blush that I tried that, again, I did not like. Yeah, there wasn't a powder blush I tried this year that I did not like. So I'm just going to go in on this side with Singe Beauty very lightly. I do have the shade called Timid Tomato. Very beautiful shade. I'm just going to lightly tap that in. Again, very lightly. A little does go a long way. We're just going to lightly tap. Such a beautiful, beautiful blush. Now, when it comes to highlighters, guys, it should be no surprise that these 2 highlighters are my absolute favorite highlighters. They're the only highlighters I literally talked about all year. Like, literally talked about all year. The first one's going to be the L'Oreal Infallible the L'Oreal Infallible 24-hour highlighter. I absolutely am obsessed with this highlighter. It is so gorgeous. Like, this has such a beautiful shine. For it being a drugstore highlighter, this is absolutely gorgeous. It gives you a nice high shine. You can build it up if you wish to make it look really beaming, or you can have it soft and radiant. It just really depends on how you want to build it. It's so beautiful. You guys always compliment my highlighter whenever I'm wearing this. But my #1 highlighter, and I've been talking about this since the beginning of the year, I swear to God, and it's the iconic Lit and Luminous Baked Highlighter. This is the best highlighter. I am so obsessed with this highlighter. I can never get enough of it. This is one of those highlighters that, again, you get to control how you want it. Do you want it to be super luminous, or do you want it to be more like lit from within? It's up to you. A little bit does go a long way. I've used this all year, and as you guys can see, I've only made a dent right here. Everything else is still really nice and full, and it is just such a gorgeous, gorgeous highlighter. I mean, like, it just gives you such a soft, beautiful glow. Like, look at that. I can never get enough of this. I can never get enough of this highlighter. And so many of you guys said that you got this highlighter because of me, and you guys said how much you guys love it too. And for good reason. For good reason. She's gorgeous. She's absolutely gorgeous. Now, for the worst highlighters I tried, the first one is going to be from Essence. This is a pure nude highlighter. Where? Where's that highlight? Do we see that? I'm sorry. Let's try that again. Come on now. I have seen all the big YouTubers be like, this is amazing. Bitch, where? Where is it amazing? Show me. I would love to see, because I can't see it right now. I'm struggling to see it. I cannot see it whatsoever. It did not give me highlight whatsoever. Another highlighter that I don't have because I did declutter it was actually the Patrick Ta highlighting the duos. It was like a cream highlighter and then like a powder highlighter. You're supposed to put the powder on first and then tap it on with the cream. This did nothing. It just looked really wet and goopy on the skin. It just made my skin really sticky. It didn't give me like a glow. I know it's supposed to be very subtle and for like movie stars and give you that like sweaty look. Y'all, no, it was bad. I bought 2 different shades. You could not tell the difference between both shades, sadly. They were super expensive. I did actually end up breaking them. I showed it in a recent new makeup releases that I ended up breaking those particular highlighters to show you how easy they are to break. For them being like $40, they're super easy to break. I just didn't like it. I just found the formula to be really difficult to work with. I shouldn't have to work this hard to make a highlighter stand out on the face. It should kind of go on very effortless like this. Even if you want me to do the powder first and then tap on the cream, it should give me this glow, and it really, really doesn't. And I get that's, more particular for people's taste. I understand, but for me, it was just a waste of money. And then the last one was from Lottie London. This is supposed to be a illuminating highlighter. Again, where is it? She's barely there. So that's the one we're going to go in today. We'll see if she gives me anything. She hasn't before. So let's try it out. It's also really glittery base. But the second that I tap my finger, it looks a little bit better. But for me, I shouldn't have to work this hard to get a highlighter to work for me. I just found the formula not to be very easy to work with. It does have a shine to it, but it's just not that easy. Not that easy to work with. So I'm going to take the L'Oreal Infallible. I'm just going to take this and put this right here. Such a gorgeous highlight to try to hide that makeup that's missing from the nose. It's missing. Okay, so before we move on to lips, I'm going to finish off my eyeshadow palette reviews. So I'll be right back. Okay, guys. So for lips, I'm going to start off with the worst. So to be honest, I haven't really tried a lot of like lip liners this year that I'm like, oh my God, this is the worst. I truly haven't. I've only tried a few lip liners this year, and I generally really did enjoy them. I think when it comes to like lip glosses and stuff like this, there's really nothing that stood out that made me hate it the most, except for the Essence. This is going to be the Pink is the New Black. It's a color changing lip tint. This just turns my lip like a super pinky shade. I'm not a fan of that. I did declutter this for a reason, but seeing as how I haven't gone through my declutters yet, I really can't tell you what I hate and don't. I really can't tell you what I think is the worst. For the best, I do have a few things. So for lip liner, I have 3 lip liners this year that I tried that I really fell in love with. The first one being a Makeup Forever. This is going to be the Artist Color Pencil. This is used for not only the lips, but the eyes. I fell in love with all 3 shades. I got these like in a little mini pack for Christmas. I thought these are beautiful. These are going to be pencil styles. And normally I don't like pencil lip liners because I find myself kind of going through them rather quickly. But these work really, really nicely. They have a nice longevity to it where they do line the lips really nicely, but you can also kind of smear them out just a little bit so you can help to sheer them. They have a great longevity. You can eat with them. You can drink with them. You don't really find them budging too much on the lip, which I really do appreciate. And they really do fill in really nicely. Fell in love with that. I also really fell in love with the Rare Beauty lip liners this year. Now, these are not new, but they're new to me. My favorite is a shade called Wise. This is all I have left. I fell in love with the shade called Wise. I think it's so beautiful. It's really creamy. It blends very seamlessly onto the lip, and you can help to blend it out with like a lipstick or your finger to sheer it out so it can mix very, very well with whatever lip product you put on top of it. It's beautiful, beautiful formula. But the one that I love the most, which I know people out there don't love, like me and Angelica talk about this all the time. The one I love the most is actually from Fenty. I know that she's not a fan of these, but I am obsessed with them because they are so, so creamy. They literally just glide on the lip. And I find that I don't have any difficulty with them. Yes, they do kind of, glide very easily. So they do kind of like start to like, I don't know how to describe it, but like get kind of flat, so you have to keep sharpening them all the time. But I just find they glide very, very beautifully. I have a great longevity with them. Mine does not smear. Mine does not really budge. It just sits really nicely. Whenever I put any lip product on top of it, it works very beautifully. And I find myself getting a lot of compliments whenever I wear these. My only gripe with them is that I do go through them rather quickly. So I'm going to wear the lip liner today. I'm going to wear the lip liner, which is my favorite one from them. And I don't even know the shade of this anymore. Rubber Bands. She's very well loved because they are so creamy that you do run through this product rather quickly, but I still really do love the color of it and the coverage of it as well. It's so nice, but see how long this takes? Now they are very creamy, so this is what Angelica does not like. I do like it because I can make it work for me. Now these are probably one of the creamiest lip formula I have ever played with. So just know it does smear on and it does give you more of that chunkier look. But if you like it like me, because I blend it out with my finger and I kind of use it as like a lipstick base underneath, I make it work really nicely. So beautiful. I really love it. I really love it. Now for like lip products themselves, I really found myself really falling in love with the Anastasia Beverly Hills. These are going to be the lip velvets. These are gorgeous. I never thought I would like this product because I love a good like glossy lip, but I really found myself gravitated to this a lot. It just goes on so smoothly. It dries down very nicely. It does have a little bit of transfer to it. So it does transfer, but it dries down so smoothly and gives you the most softest velvety look, and it can last you all day. They have such beautiful colors. I have more deeper shades. Honest to God, I do want to get more lighter shades because I don't always want to have like a deep red or like deep brown. I do want to have more like an everyday mauve shade if I can. So I definitely want to go pick up more shades. So I really fell in love with this particular format. I thought it was so nice. Also, hardcore fell in love with the Gazoo lip oils. I thought these were fantastic. The coconut one was my favorite. She gets a lot of love. She smells incredible. Now her longevity is not nearly as long as other products, but she goes on very nicely, very high shine, non-sticky. It's very beautiful on lips. It does transfer just a little bit and it does smear your lip product underneath just a tad, but it's a beautiful coverage nonetheless. Now one of my favorite lip glosses of this entire year was actually from Haus Labs. These are the pH lip glosses. So it's supposed to be like a lip gloss, a lip plumper, a lip balm, and a lipstick, like all in one. These are so full coverage. This is the only one I have left. I did have Praline and Cocoa. All I have left is Praline because I've gone through these like crazy. I do want to get more. I love these. I get a lot of compliments whenever I wear them. And whenever I do wear this, I tend to wear it for a long time throughout the day. Even if I eat and drink, it does tend to stay on the lip, which I really, really, really do appreciate. But I think my number one lip product of this entire year, truly, 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 has been my Fenty Beauty. These are going to be the Gloss Bomb Sticks. I have two shades, but the one that I gravitated to the most is Tulip Kiss. You guys have seen me talk about this nonstop. This is such a gorgeous lip balm. It just really glides right on the lip. And this particular Tulip Kiss literally goes with every single shade that you pair it with. It doesn't matter what lip liner you have underneath. It is going to complement it so nicely. It's going to have that really nice Fenty Beauty smell. It's super, super soft on lips. Even though it's a lip balm, it looks like a gloss. This has been my absolute favorite of the entire year. I have done reels on this. I have talked about this like till I'm blue in the face. This has been absolutely incredible. This is one of my favorite lip products of the entire year, is this particular lip product right here, the Tulip Kiss from Fenty Beauty. I'm telling you guys, try this. You'll thank me later. And even if I eat and drink, you're still going to see this sitting on my lips. Like, it does budge a little bit, but you're still going to see beautiful, soft lip balm still sitting there. And then if for some reason it does happen to dissipate, I still have the lip liner underneath. I just go over it with a clear gloss from CoverGirl, like their Clean Yummy glosses at work. Beautiful. Then for setting spray, I only have one that I recommend, and it's the one size. This is my go-to. This is my go-to. I don't have any other setting powder, setting spray to recommend, or a setting spray that I don't like. Like, that is my absolute go-to. So this is the final look. Honestly, the face, I like how this side looks. This side looks really nice. This side, really not so much. But the best part is from a distance, you guys really cannot tell a difference, which is really, really, really nice. Like, I can see how it looks, but honestly, I'm able to make it work. But this side right here, my face is kind of itching. It did dry down because that setting powder, but I just found that I just don't like how it looks, especially like up close. You can definitely see where there is some issues afoot, and I'm just not really the biggest fan of it. And the second I touch my chin, the setting powder is already white. The second I touch my skin, my foundation's already shifting and moving. So that's nice. That is nice. But this is my version of the best versus worst. I'm sorry I didn't have all the products. I will do better next year. I was just so eager to get my declutter series started that I forgot to save majority of the items that I decluttered. To save majority of the items I did not like. I forgot to save them. I saved a few, but I didn't save all of them, and I'm sure I'm missing some products out of the worst and maybe even out of the best, but these are the products that really kind of stood out to me the most. So yeah, guys, let me go ahead and zoom on out and we'll wrap up this video. So yeah, what do you think? Which side do you guys prefer more? Do you prefer this side? Do you prefer this side? Let me know in the comments below. I also want to know, what was your favorite products of the year and what was your least favorite products a year? I'm kind of hoping that you guys can tell me your least favorite products, because maybe in the new year I will try out a full face of your least favorite makeup products, but I could also do a full face of your most favorite makeup products. Let me know if you guys want me to do those videos down below. But that, for most beautiful friends, is it for today's video. Next time you see me, we're going to be wrapping up our declutter series. I'm going to be decluttering my entire single shadows, eyeliners, mascara, and lipstick collection. Then afterwards, going into the new year, I will declutter my entire everyday makeup drawer, followed by this big closet, and then we have our massive bookshelf to tackle, and that will kind of wrap up this year. I'm also going to do my declutter marathon because I love doing that. But thank you guys so much for being here. Again, I'm sorry the video is not what I wanted, but you know what? We made it work. So with that said, guys, that is it for today's video. If you guys enjoyed today's video, please make sure you guys give this video a cheeky thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you guys have not already, because I do post 3 to 4 videos every single week. Make sure you guys head over to my other channels are for life. You guys get to see my cool, wonderful adventures, my amazing husband Corey, and as always, the biggest thank you goes to these beautiful, wonderful page members you guys see right here. Thank you guys so much for everything. And to my subscribers and viewers, thank you guys so much for being here. Whether you guys like this video, you guys thumbs down this video, you guys subscribed, you guys did not subscribe, either way, thank you guys so much for being here. I love and appreciate each and every single one of you. So with that said, guys, I love you, and I'll see you guys in the very next video.